So I think
Yeah.
it's really important, and I know that you know this, Tim, and curious your thoughts on this, to understand in that initial consultation, what do they care about? What are their goals? And focus on those. If it's fat loss, if it's strength, if it's fitness, focus on those. Don't necessarily talk about everything else. You can drip feed and everything else as they work with you over time. And I think that's important from a educational and ultimately retention point of view and generating referrals. But in the beginning, it's like just hit them with the lay description, which you do so well, of the benefits that they care about, because that's going to convert the sale really effectively, and it's going to resonate with them. And ultimately, that's how you're going to be able to smuggle in all the other benefits as well, right? Which is what gives us so much fulfillment in what we do. So just curious, do you do that in the same way, or do you have a different approach for how you talk about these things?
Yeah, no, that's some really good points, Lawrence. And one of the things you have to do, there's a difference between maybe the way you're handling things when you initially meet somebody and you're doing that initial consultation and you're trying to make the sale. Obviously, that needs to be targeted to the things that are going to have the most impact on influencing them. You're going to want to deliver a message that's going to connect with them emotionally, because people make purchase decisions emotionally a lot. They maybe want some amount of facts and understanding of things, but ultimately to make that purchase, you've got to be connecting with them on a level that they are confident that what you're offering and what you're selling essentially is going to provide them what they are looking for and what they want. So at that consultation level, or those initial presentations, I do kind of touch upon the wide range of benefits, because a lot of people may not realize that, hey, they may be coming to me looking for a certain thing, but wow, look at all this other stuff I'm going to get too. But very quickly, I dial it down. And once I've learned what they are most motivated by, or what they're trying to achieve and get from the program, I'm going to obviously hit those points and give them confidence that I'm going to be able to provide that to them, very well. But realize too that if they do become a client, you've got a lot of time over the weeks and months and hopefully years of working with that person to introduce some of these other concepts, because there's always situations where you're going along, you're training somebody, and they say something to you, or some subject comes up in your conversation with them, and that gives you a doorway or a window into addressing something new that you hadn't talked to them about before. And again, I'm trying to do that and connect with them on a level that is going to touch them and make them have confidence and in what I'm offering them. So it could be something as easy as, I had a client tell me that like over the summer, they were doing some, yard and gardening work, and they had purchased a bunch of bags of dirt and mulch and things like that. And they had loaded it in the trunk of their car. And they told me, and this was a woman, and she told me that, Tim, I can't believe it. Last summer before I met you, I couldn't even lift these bags of dirt out of my car. And this year it felt like easy to do. And I just was able to load and unload these bags and carry them out into my yard and do all this work. And, this is amazing. So somebody makes a comment like that, you want to immediately reinforce what they said and connect the dots and realize that this is what I'm talking about. When you're in the gym, the workouts are always hard. You're always we're striving to reach, momentary failure on an exercise, and we're progressing the weight loads and making things more challenging over time. So the workout itself is always going to be difficult and challenging, but your life outside of the gym is going to become easier. So connect the dots that, yes, see, you are getting much better, because I can't count the amount of times that a client thinks that they're performing poorly and getting worse because the workouts are hard. And I tell them, I don't care who you are, how strong you are, how fit you are, how long you've been doing this, the workouts are designed to be hard because that's what stimulates the benefits. Going back to my friend's little thing on the wall there, easy doesn't work. Okay, so the workouts are hard, but what gets easier.
That's not Doug Holland by any chance, is
it? It's what?
Sounds like something Doug would have on the wall. Doug Holland would. Sounds like something Doug Holland would have on his wall.
Yeah, Doug Holland really would, have something that. In this case, it wasn't.
He'd also scream at the person as they start to suffer towards the end of the set, probably.
Right, but take opportunities to connect the dots with people that. Your life outside of the gym is what's going to get easier when you do things like lift bags of dirt out of your car, when you go up and down the stairs, when you play with your grandkids, when you do different things. That's what's getting easier, but also tie it in with their health. Somebody comes in and say, oh, I just had my physical and my blood pressure is down, my cholesterol is down, I've lost 12 pounds since my last physical, and my doctor was ecstatic about these benefits. It's like, don't just say, oh, yeah, that's great. I mean, tie it in with what you've been doing with them for the past year and how that has impacted that. And so again, it builds not only their motivation to push through these workouts, but it builds their desire and their commitment to your program so that they'll stay with you long term. And once they experience these things, they're not going to want to quit. They're not going to want to stop doing your program because they're going to realize what's going to happen to them if they do, and that they're going to revert back and lose all those things that they achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you can't take that for granted, right? You've got to still be diligent about educating them. I mean, yes. I had a client who I swear I explained till I was blue in the face about the benefits of double progression, right? About the importance of increasing you're laughing because you've been there, right, Tim?
Yeah.
In terms of keeping the time under load reasonable and not a sufferfest, and keeping the weight too low. And obviously there's benefits with things like bone mineral density if there's a high load, etc. And he still questioned that, and he ended up canceling, right? And I did like an exit interview of him, and it was really good feedback and great learning experience. But it just made me laugh that and I thought, how could I have explained this better? And I think one of the things we did in response is we decided that, and this is something we were planning on doing anyway, is just introducing more touch points for education in terms of a weekly email, seminars, more diligence around a teaching focus every session, like a 20 to 30 second thing on why we use a slow speed of movement, or the importance of strength training for bone mineral density, or whatever it is, right? And this has largely been inspired by Discover Strength. I should hat tip those guys. And anyway, so that was really good feedback and good learning, but at the same time, it is annoying and kind of funny, But
yeah, well, one of the things that comes with more and more experience and dealing with these types of things is that, number one, you start to recognize when there's maybe a problem brewing with somebody. You start to realize, because what's so frustrating is that a lot of clients will not tell you that they're getting frustrated, or they will not tell you that they're about to quit your program for whatever reason. They'll just do it, okay? But they do give off sort of warning signals if you're observant, and you can see by the way they're approaching the workouts, the way they're walking through your door, maybe subtle comments that they make. And if you're observant, you can catch on that there's a problem developing here. And you then can use that opportunity to start to address certain things and start to touch upon some things that may resonate with them and connect. So you can get some of these things. And I like what you said about these touch points. Yeah, you need to have these touch points. You need to be in tune with what's going on with your clients, and then sort of take problems and head them off at the pass and be able to address things before it goes too far to the point where they're going to quit or drop out of the program.